it is bad manners. Like, no matter how hungry you are, you don't eat until the host has started eating. Or like before, when I used to run away from daydreaming just because I thought if I allowed myself be in that space, I would jinx it. Like, thinking about it now, it makes no sense. But I just always used to think, if I think about my future, if I plan it out, if I say this is how it's going to be, this is what would happen, it's just not going to happen again. I don't know where that idea came from. But honestly, I think I've gotten to that point in my walk with God, or should I say in my relationship with God, where I feel like God is telling me, Debbie, every time you tell me you trust me, every time you tell me you have faith in me, I need your actions to start aligning. Like, I need you to act like you really believe in what I'm saying. And it's like God has told us, as far as your eyes can see. So it makes no sense for my eyes to see something and then I'm keeping it short because I feel like, oh, if I think about it, it's not going to happen. So these days, every night before I go to bed, I give myself permission to be in that space. I think about my life, my future, my kids. I don't know about people who say things like, oh, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be able to care for myself. I want to be bloody rich. I want to be a billionaire. Like, I just think of all of the plans that I have. And I know having enough money to get by is not going to do those things for me. So me, I dream of luxury. I'm on a jet. I'm flying to this country. I'm shopping. I'm just doing all of those nice things. If you want to be comfortable, that's okay. That's fine. But I'm just not on that wavelength. So in as much as, being in that bubble where everything is perfect, I'm living the life of my dreams, being in that space is good. It's nice. All I have to do is open my eyes and I'm reminded that I'm not there yet. And it's okay. It's fine. I know it's coming. So I'm grateful to God regardless. But it just takes little things for me to remember I'm not there yet. Now, I remember the exact day I decided I was going to talk about etiquette on this channel. Now, for me, everything we talk about on this channel has a reason. I don't just wake up and say, oh, we'll talk about this. There's always a backstory. Sometimes I may share if it's relevant to the story. Other times I may not share. Now, for this one, I had gone for a dinner with a friend. We're actually supposed to have dinner alone, but last minute, a work thing came up and she was like, oh, I have to have this meeting with someone. Is it okay if this guy should just join us for the dinner? I'll just have a quick conversation with him. And we could go to a lounge for like drinks. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's fine. That's okay. So we got to the restaurant, really nice place. The ambience, the food, the music, everything is nice. Now, I don't know if there was something about what I ate that day. What did I even eat? I think it was jollof. Was it jollof rice? Most times when I go out, I eat jollof rice. So I'm going to assume it's jollof rice because I can't really remember. So I don't know if the food was just too nice, but I caught myself leaning towards the food as opposed to bringing the food towards me. I understand this may not be a big deal for a lot of people. After all, what did I do? Did I kill anybody? I just leaned towards my plate. But for me, it was a big deal. In my head, I'm already thinking, so when Rihanna invites me to New York for like Fenty events, that's how everybody's eating. Then my head will be like this. I'll show everybody that I'm a bushwoman. I say, nope. We have to fix this. We have to correct this. Okay? But in as much as I know, okay, I'm not where I want to be yet. I want to be prepared. When I start going for those meetings, when I walk into the room, I want to be confident. I want to know what to do. I don't want to feel awkward. I don't want to feel out of place. When we're having dinner, I want to make sure I'm pulling up with the right table manners. And table manners is a big part of etiquette. Even aside these little incidents that made me talk about this, I just feel like there are so many people moving around in society lacking basic manners. I don't know if it's because they weren't taught. I think when I was in secondary school, I wasn't taught about etiquette, but I think the curriculum these days is different. I remember helping my nephew with his assignments and I could see they had actually taught them about etiquette. So thank God for that. But for people who are like me, who are losing their etiquette skills, or people who just did not grow up in an environment where etiquette was taught or etiquette was prioritized, this is a video you definitely want to watch. Now, back in 17th century France, King Louis XIV would frequently hold parties at his palace, and of course all of the nobles would be in attendance. Them coming was not the problem. The problem was when they come, they were constantly in competition with each other, fighting for the king's attention. You see them showing off their outfits, showing off their status, showing off their manners, trying to impress the king. Now, with all of that came chaos and confusion. You'd see nobles speaking on top of each other with total disregard for the palace they were in. So the king came up with these small cards called etiquette, meaning ticket of behavior, that contained rules everybody had to obey whenever they were in the palace. So it was rules like, oh, you have to stand here, don't speak king is speaking, don't move around, don't touch the grass, don't do this, don't do that. It just contained rules to help bring order to the chaos this competition was causing. And if you do anything contrary to those rules, you're seen as uncivilized. Initially, those rules were meant for royal events, but in no time it spread all over Europe, turning into a guide for social behavior. So that's where the word etiquette came from. Now, this our etiquette series is going to be in 2 parts. I didn't want the video to be too long, and I really wanted us to focus on table manners because I just think table manners is something people lack, especially in terms of like formal settings. So if you're watching this video, you want to make sure you keep an eye out for part 2, which is going to be out, I think, Saturday. So yeah, you want to keep your table manners are accepted behavior that ensure a pleasant dining experience in casual, formal, or cultural settings. This is not just restricted to when you are eating. There are actually things you do even before the food comes that shows you have proper etiquette. One, you want to make sure you arrive on time. Now, I understand lateness is a part of African culture, but that is something I refuse to associate myself with. If you're invited for dinner, it's completely rude and it's disrespectful to your host for you to show up late. Like, if there are other activities before the dinner, it's okay if you want to come up late, but if we are meeting solely for the purpose of, oh, let's meet up and eat, and you're coming late, like, what do you expect? Do you want all of us to wait for you because you've not come, or is your plan to come when we're halfway done with the meal and then you miss out on the best part of the food? It makes no sense. If you want to show that you're polished, you want to show you're elegant, you want to make sure you get to wherever the dinner is happening at least 5 minutes before the start of the dinner. Secondly, you want to make sure you're dressed appropriately. Now, depending on the kind of dinner, if it's a family dinner, you can wear something smart but casual. If it's a formal dinner, of course, you know you're wearing like your most formal outfit. And if you're meeting up with your friends, now I saw this video of Chioma Good Hair that was trending. I think she was supposed to have dinner with a group of women and she came up dressed. If you know Chioma, you know that's how she pulls up to events, and there are lots of controversies surrounding that video. For me, I just want to say, if I have a dinner with my friends, unfortunately for me, I don't have a group of friends that know each other right now, and then we meet up for dinner and things like that. I don't have that, but if I do, what I would appreciate is, depending on where we're going to, I would love it if, oh, they say, oh, we're going somewhere, so everybody come casual. We're going this way, so everybody come in your finest. We're going to the club, everybody, oh yeah, show you the hottest. Do you understand? So I just think if I'm going out with a group of friends, it makes more sense when there's like a general like agreement, like, oh, this is the vibe for where we're going to, so you can dress appropriately. I, for one, I don't want to be overdressed when I'm with my friends, and I also don't want to be underdressed. So that's just like my thoughts on that issue. But if you're going for a dinner, you want to make sure you're dressed appropriately. If it's an event that you want to like show out. But of course, I don't think I would ever be that person who would be like, oh, why did you wear this? Why did you? Nah, I don't care. Like, do whatever you want. So when it comes to seating arrangement, if you're going for a formal dinner, you want to follow the host lead. A formal dinner is not when you would insist you want to sit next to your best friend so you guys can gossip. If the person organizing the dinner says sit here, you sit there. It is not the time for you to say, I must sit with this person. It just shows that you don't have manners. Wherever the host asks you to sit there. Now, of course, once you're seated, there's usually a napkin on the table. That napkin is for you. Pick it up and then you place it on your laps. Now, ideally, I wanted to shoot this video in the restaurant because I just felt, instead of telling you what to do, why not just show you exactly how it's done? But I live in Lagos, and honestly, I don't have strength. Like, I just don't have strength. And I also have never filmed outside. Like, I've not made a proper YouTube video outside. So I just felt like it's going to be awkward, and then I have to deal with Lagos people and their rules and everything. So I was like, yeah, let me just do it in my house. And I'm actually too lazy. You guys, would you believe if I tell you I'm filming by I think it's 5:57. Wow, it's 6 a.m. I had no idea it's 6 a.m. I started preparing for this video by like 4 and it's currently 6 a.m. So yeah, I would have loved to set up a table to show you guys, but it's 6 a.m. Nobody has strength for that. And while you are eating, if there are spills, if you need to clean up, you dab gently. Why not? You just use it to dab gently. But your napkin should be on your laps, not on the table, not inside your bag, on your laps. And of course, posture. While you are seated at the dinner table, you want to make sure you're sitting upright. Okay, sit upright, elbows off the table. Your elbows have no business being on the dinner table. Your elbows have to be off the dinner table. Next, let's talk about utensils. Now, mostly in formal dinners, you see lots of forks, lots of spoons, lots of knives, and I understand it can be overwhelming, but there's actually a simple rule to follow. You want to make sure you start with the utensil at the farthest and then you work your way in. So depending on how many courses you're having, let's say for example, if there's a first course, which should usually be like a salad or an appetizer, and then you have the main course and then you have a dessert. So the utensils are arranged in that order. So when the first course comes, you start with the utensil at the farthest. That's for your salad, that's for the appetizer. Then when you get to your main meal, you move to the next one, and then for the dessert you move to the next utensil. So that's the simple rule to follow. If you're confused, you don't know what to use, just use them. As the food is coming, pick one. When the next food comes, pick the next. Since I was too lazy to set up my plates, I actually have a fork and a knife, so I'm going to show you guys. We're going to do a little bit of demonstration. Your fork should be on your left hand and your knife on your right for when you want to cut. So you hold your meat like this and then you do this, and ideally this is how your utensils should be: fork left, knife right. Your knife is not supposed to be on your left hand, your knife should be on your right hand. And you can just eat like this, or if you're not comfortable eating with your left hand, you can always swap and move over to your right hand. Now, before the start of the meal, your utensils are usually placed on the sides of the plate. Like, you also use your utensils to communicate with your waiter. So let's say for example, you're eating, you're tired, or you're chewing, you just want to rest for a bit. You want to place your utensils like this, like in form of like an inverted V. So this lets the wait staff know you're still eating, so they'll not come and carry your plate. So while eating in a formal dinner, if you're taking a rest, you're taking a break, your utensils should be like this. If you're ready for the next dish or the next course, you want to keep your utensils like this. So this is kind of like a cross. I think I've been covering my face. Oh my god. So this is kind of like a cross. So if you're ready for the next course, you keep your utensils like this. Communicate to the waiter that you're ready for the next meal. Now, when you're done eating, you want to keep your utensils like this on the plate. I think I should just use, should I keep this? Maybe I should use like a visual representation, or is this okay? Is this fine? I think I'll find a way to insert a picture that depicts what I'm trying to explain. But once you're done with your meal, your utensil stays like this. And if you don't like your meal, if you want them to know this food I'm eating, I'm not enjoying it, you keep your utensils like this. Remember, we said if you're taking a break, they stay like this. But if you hate the food and you want them to know you hate the food, you don't care, keep it like this. So your knife goes in between the tines. This part of your fork is actually called tines. So yeah, you keep it like this just to let the wait staff know I'm not enjoying this meal, and they could come up and ask you, oh, do you need more salt, do you need more pepper, or should we just make something new for you? Although I don't think Lagos restaurants would ever do that. Of course, if you want them to know you enjoyed your meal, you keep your cutlery like this, just like this. This communicates to the wait staff that you totally enjoyed your meal. Aside the utensils, let's talk about glasses. There are different types of glasses, and sometimes you could be confused. You don't know which glass to use for water, you don't know what to use for your wine, you don't know what to use for cocktails. Don't worry. So this is a water glass. I think this is quite common in Nigeria. Most of us, we have this in our homes. This is a water glass. We have our wine glass. There's also a champagne flute. We also have glasses for beer, we have glasses for cocktails, we have glasses for shots. There are different types. I'm going to include images and titles just so you know which exact glass to use, in case you're in a formal dinner and there are like 20 types of glasses and you're not sure the exact one to use. Now let's talk about eating etiquette. You only eat when the host has started eating. It is bad manners. Like, no matter how hungry you are, you don't eat until the host has started eating or it signals for you to start eating. And you could do that by just saying, oh, let's begin, or can we dive into our meal? They would usually say something, but ideally you have to wait for your host to start eating before you eat. You want to make sure you're chewing with your mouth closed and you're not stuffing food into your mouth. Take bite-sized pieces. Don't talk when there's food in your mouth. There's no reason. This is something people do. I don't know what. There is no reason why we're having dinner and I'm seeing the content of food in your mouth. Chew with your mouth closed. Chew quietly. Although actually in some cultures it's actually encouraged for you to make sounds while you're eating. I think that's more peculiar to like Asian cultures, they see slopping, like you know when you're eating noodles and they see slopping, they see making sounds while you're eating. It's a good thing. They see it as, oh, you're enjoying the meal, you appreciate the food. But in Nigeria, I don't think eating and making noise is a thing. Even if it was, I don't want to be a part of that thing. I beg, I beg, I beg. So while you're eating, you just want to make sure you're chewing quietly, mouth closed, bite-sized pieces. Don't stuff food in your mouth. I've had someone ask me, we're having a conversation. How are we supposed to have a conversation when we're eating and you're saying you don't want to see food in my mouth? The thing is, if you're taking small size of food, that would not even be a problem, because before I would finish talking, you've swallowed and then you can reply to me. So once you're served food, you want to make sure you're serving others first and not yourself. So pass it over to the right and not to the left. Now the rule is for you to serve others first before you serve yourself. So if you're sitting between two people, you're confused, should I give to this guy, should I give to this person, make sure you give it to the person on the right, and then to pass round until it gets to you. You also want to make sure you're taking moderate portions. You're not the hungriest person in the room. Even if you're the hungriest person in the room, you don't have to let everybody know. Now, if you're with your family, if you're with your friends, you may not care much for these rules, but if you're in a formal dinner, these are really important things, and it will literally affect how people see you or perceive you. So while eating, if for example you need more rice, you need more chicken, you need salt, you need pepper, it is completely wrong for you to start stretching your hands to collect things. If there's something you need and it's far from you, ask for it, and it's going to be passed down to you, as opposed to you standing up going to pick up things or stretching your hands. You could just kick something over and then you make a mess. It makes no sense. So always ask for food or drinks to be passed down to you. Even though conversations are encouraged in a dinner table, it is wrong for you to bring up controversial topics. Somebody invited you for dinner. That's not the time for you to bring up Ronaldo and Messi, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Like, while eating, you want to make sure the conversation is light and inclusive. And of course, your phones have no business being on the dinner table. Keep your phones in your bags or wherever, but just keep it out of sight. It is rude for you to be in a dinner with people and then you're texting someone else or you're on the phone. It just shows a lack of basic manners. Now, once you're done eating, you want to place your napkin loosely on the table. It also communicates to the waiter that you're done eating and they can come pick up your plate. And it's also completely rude for you to be invited to a dinner, you eat and then you leave house without thanking the host. You want to make sure you're telling the host thank you, even if the food was not sweet, even if you did not enjoy it. Just tell them, oh, thanks for the meal, thanks for inviting me, the drinks were nice. Just look for something to compliment. That shows you have proper manners and you're appreciative, and you'd most likely be invited for the next. Now, all of these things I've shared with you, it creates a pleasant dining experience, and it just lets people know you're an elegant person and you've been to these rooms before, so you know exactly what to do and how to behave. So you guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you learned one or two things about table manners you did not know before. If there are any rules I skipped out on, please drop a comment so you can educate us, you can educate me, and also educate other people that are watching this video. But yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to watch the part 2 of this video where I'll talk about like less common etiquette rules. So thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye guys.